Switch off.
Hello everyone. Today is the 25th of December, early in the morning, so I wish you a nice happy Christmas. So for all of those who can't see me, I'm sitting in my usual armchair with my purple poncho, my blue cross around my neck, and behind me, I don't know if you can see the laundry, but there is laundry hanging down from the window. It is dark, of course, so it's light in the room. So now the topic or what I want to talk about today, I choose the title, Mind the Candle. Mind the Candle. How did I get this idea? The other day, I spoke to a friend and we were chatting about feeling God's presence. And she kept saying, oh, why can't I feel his presence today? I can't feel him today. I haven't got my heart open and I always want to feel him. So I have the question to her, but how often do you think of him? How often do you share with him? Or so many people say and believe that you cannot feel God and you can't experience him, you just have to believe. And that is not really, of course, difficult then. But once you've experienced him, maybe through experiencing a miracle or you felt his presence, then it is good and easier to try to be mindful of relating or building your relationship with him, or to align yourself with him and to share with him. So this mindfulness, I had a memory when I was a young girl. I used to love candles. I used to have a phase when I loved to light a candle. We weren't allowed in boarding school, but I often did it secretly when our carers were not there, and so I carried the candle around, and I used to love feeling the candle flame in front of my face. And I used to carry that candle from room to room and held it in front of me even when I chatted to people. And it was a bit silly, so when the door opened and the draft came, or I walked past an open window or I walked too fast, then the candle would go out. So I learned to be mindful. I learned to walk so carefully and to open the doors so carefully. So I would sometimes even turn so that I would protect the candle with my body so that the flame would not go out until I wanted it out. So I was so mindful then of the candle. And I also remember when I was very little, when we lived in a very old house where it was often power cuts, and especially in the winter, my mother, when she was able to light a candle in the cold, she was so mindful that the candle would not go out. So me and my sister were not allowed to run around and or throw things around, so we would not, throw something on the candle, or we wouldn't make a draft. Or my mother would open the door to the kitchen and the draft from the kitchen came because the kitchen was old and drafty. So she had to be careful that the candle would be standing somewhere that it wouldn't go out when the kitchen door opened. And that is the same with God. We have to be mindful. We have to keep aligning ourselves to him, turn to him. We have to remember that he's always looking after us, that he makes sure and is willing to help that everything is going well in life, and that he is always the basis of all life. So we forget that God is very important for our life, very important for our life, even for survival. So I think, when you go in London with the underground, you hear the speakers, mind the gap. Yeah? Be careful with the gap that's between the train and the platform. Mind the gap. Everywhere you hear that. Because it's dangerous to fall into the gap between the train and the platform. And this, at least, it is unpleasant, or it can be very difficult when we are not walking with God in our life, or when we do not keep aligning ourselves with him all the time, especially when we have felt him before. I'm guilty of that too. How often do I start eating one mouthful? Nom, nom, nom. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ, please bless my breakfast. Nom, nom, nom. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ, please bless my water. often after the first sip of water or the first mouthful, or I go for a walk, oh, Jesus Christ, be with me. Come with me. I often am at the next corner of the house when I think of that, but I often think of him later and I think, oh, Jesus, come with me wherever I go, and I will go wherever you want me to go. This mindfulness is important. Align ourselves to God. Keep mindful of that. And then God's presence in us will grow. Well, it means actually that we will become more aware of him. And then it can spread in our consciousness, and then the others will start feeling it. And then we will become the candle that is always burning. Mind the candle. Mind the candle.